Thank you so much for taking this time out to let me interview you. And I have said it before and I'll say it again. I really appreciate you bringing me onto your roster. Not only just me, but also my daughters as well. Wehmann has been very important to me, and it has uh, gotten me my first national television spot. Well, television on a TV show nationally, and national commercial spots, open table, and all this stuff. And I am really appreciative of that. And you are, I've said it before, you're a true inspiration. So tell me about Wehmann. You're one of the top agencies in the city, if not the top. Tell me about Wehmann and how you got started.
I was an agent in another agency for about 3.5 years. And after that amount of time, my parents encouraged me to start my own agency. Mostly because there had been a sale within that agency, and so they said, hey, you should really try this. I was 25 years old, and They said, you wouldn't be at much of a risk because you don't have a lot of bills at this point. You don't have a family, you don't have mortgages, you don't have... So it was easy to do it at that time in my life.
Oh, okay. All right. Actually, I thought I had your questions in front of me, but
here, I can give them
yeah.
to you. Let me give them to you. There they are.
I don't know what happened to them. But anyway, okay, thanks.
No problem.
So what are some of the film and television projects that you've worked on?
Well, you know what's really interesting is that with the Coen brothers, having grown up, we've done a lot of their films.
Oh, okay.
For many years, Disney used to come into town, especially for our kids. We were known as having a great child actor talent pool, and Disney would come into town. They haven't for several years, but they used to do that on a regular basis. Lynn Blumenthal, who is a casting director, tends to be the casting director that gets the film and big TV projects. So when she is awarded those, Wehmann gets involved in those projects because we have a very close working relationship with her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And tell me about Lynn and how you guys met or how it worked out.
Well, she started, like I did, as an agent in Chicago.
Oh.
And then she wanted to move back to Minnesota where she grew up. And so she bought into a casting director's office, and then that person either retired or moved on, and she then started her casting director business.
Agency.
Yeah. And we started working a lot with her. And she and I are, contemporaries and colleagues in the business.
I see. Okay. Can you walk us through the process of getting representation at Wehmann?
Sure. We really look at every submission. We like people to submit online because it gives us the opportunity to see their images, to read their stats, to read their resume if they have them, to watch their demos or listen to their voice demos if they have them. It gives us the opportunity to ask all the questions that we would like to know about them in order to consider them for Wehmann representation. And we base that decision on representing someone when we receive that submission and review it with two things in mind. One, is it a look and a level of experience that our clients are asking for on a regular basis? And secondly, we look at how many people are we currently representing that have that look, that have that level of experience, and whether or not there is work for them through Wehmann. At the end of the day, the Wehmann agency is about representing good choices.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get people work. It's the client's projects. It's their work. Our job is to give them good choices for their projects. And I think we have the best reputation in town of representing good choices for them to consider for each project, whether it's a social media blast, a website campaign, a print campaign, a TV spot, a film, an industrial video, a voice for radio, TV, or a training film. Wehmann is known for having the talent that they could consider for those type of projects.
Okay. And some online sites recommend doing research before coming in to, because I guess you interview people after
Absolutely. Once we accept someone, they have an interview with me.
And what's your interview process like? And what kind of research should a person
Sure.
do before they come?
I think if you're interested in Wehmann representation, you should spend time on our website. You should know the people that are in your category. And categories mean your age, your look, your resume of experience, or if you're brand new to the business. But you should have an idea of the talent that we represent. I think you should know something about the women that work here. The agents, their bios are online. Their photos are online. I think that's a really important thing. I think also we have frequently asked questions. I think reviewing that so that when you come and meet with me, you don't waste time asking a question that already is on the Wehmann website, that is right there for you to already know. I think it's great to look at our client list, the clients that we serve, because our client list is very current. It's people that we are working with right now. It's not something that was 20 years ago. It's clients that we're working with right now. To sort of have some idea then about the business that we do, and knowing the women that work here, the clients that we serve, the talent that we represent, and the questions that could potentially already be answered, so that when you come and meet with me, we really spend good time together about you and what's unique to you and how Wehmann could work with you on that.
Okay. And you mentioned about knowing the women. I see you have the women of Wehmann on your wall here. But what specifically would a model look for? How would that help them when they're coming in? I mean, I understand the clients, you understand the business, you would understand what kind of people, but knowing their bios, and how would that help a talent?
Well, I think first of all, it tells you the range of agents that we have. We have 2 on-camera agents, we have 2 voice agents, we have 2 print agents, we've got interns. Their job descriptions and what they do is online. And I think, working with an agency at the end of the day, the very best thing that you're going to get from Wehmann is a relationship. And when you have spent the time sort of understanding the 8 of us that work here, you just give yourself a leg up. It's like you start with, okay, I sort of know something about them. I kind of know where they're from. I know what they're going to do at Wehmann. I know when Leslie emails me, or Lucia emails me, or Julie emails me, what kind of body of work they're going to be talking to me about, or sending me. And I think that just makes you feel more comfortable then when you begin your relationship with them. It's a funny thing coming in and interviewing with me, because it's not like interviewing for a job, because you're not leaving with a job offer. You're leaving with the beginning of a relationship with Wehmann. And so the more you know about us, the better you're going to feel. That's just going to happen for you. And because your comfort as a talent and a model and a mom and an artist is key to your success in the business. And it starts with feeling comfortable in the interview with me.
Okay. And So, does Wayman represent any specific body type? Because I know that there are some agencies, there are some agencies who represent a certain type. I submitted to one agent who was, but I didn't know it at the time. But they were looking for like from 18 to 20 something. But at the time, I didn't know, and so I could see why I didn't get into that agency because it wasn't the body type that they were looking for, or the demographic. So.
Right.
Are you looking for any specific body type or anything like that?
No, in this market, because it's a commercial advertising market, we look for all ages, all ethnicities, both men and women, boys and girls. We look for, a resume of experience, certainly skills that they might have, even if they don't have experience specifically in the business, any training they might have or education in the business, any performance ability that they've done, whether they've done it in high school or college.
Okay.
The youngest person that we booked was 3 hours old,
Wow.
and the oldest person that we booked was 92. So we consider everyone, and again, we consider them through the lens of, are they a look that our clients are asking for, and how many people are we currently representing that have that look?
Okay. Is there a sort of a percentage, like that last comment you made, how many people we
Are
have
3 hours
this?
old?
Well,
Right.
well, we already have one 3-hour-old baby.
Right, exactly.
Was I on that shoot? Was that for?
Yeah.
I might have been on that shoot. I might have played the grandmother on that.
Well, what's interesting is there is a mainstream sort of age range, with especially, both men and women and kids. Kids 4 to 6 work the most, and kids 10 to 12 work the most.
Okay.
4 to 6, it's because they've started preschool, and they're used to taking direction, waiting in line, taking their turn. They've learned those skill sets.
Okay. Yeah.
And 10 to 12 for kids is because they're still kid looking. And for adults, for women, it's sort of between the ages of 18 to 35. And for men, it's usually 25 to 45 are the mainstream of ages that work the most in the business. And the reason that is again, we are a commercial advertising market. So when you consider that it's Target, it's Best Buy, it's 3M Company, it's General Mills, it's Medtronic, it's Medica, it's Mayo Clinic, it's Publishers Clearinghouse. When you consider that those are our clients, they're looking oftentimes for families, a mom and a dad, a son and a daughter. They're looking for a group of kids to say something about their product. They're looking for adult businessmen and women. They're looking for adult professionals in a banker, a bank customer, a doctor, a patient. Those are the roles that we are fulfilling and booking on a regular basis.
Okay. Let's talk about that a little bit. I want to talk about the demographics for other people. I don't want people to be shied away because they might be older.
Oh,
because
gosh,
there's
no.
great opportunities for older people. And can you speak a little bit about that?
Yes. We have a very big seniors age group that work through Wehmann on a regular basis. And when I say seniors, it is from 55 to probably 85 is sort of the demographic of that age range. And they work on a regular basis because, again, if you think about families, it's the grandma and grandpas. It's the CEO. It's the well-seasoned, well-experienced doctor or banker that someone can resonate with that look with a little bit of gray hair, and today's seniors are so fit and so healthy, and so advertisers really want them to have a presence in their advertising.
Okay. So, now you represent actors as well as models, as you mentioned earlier. Do you look for anything to be submitted differently than for models?
I think for actors, when we really consider actors, we are considering primarily a theatrical resume, theater experience, training experience. That really helps us understand that they have a skill set that's either in development or well developed, and that is they can pick up a script and give it an interpretation. They can play off other people easily. They can probably go off script and add something more for the client to consider. They take direction well, and they can emote and express in front of the camera.
Okay, great.
With models, the clients have maybe not the script interpretation or playing off other people, but they do expect them to take direction well, to play off of other people, to emote and express on camera as well.
Yeah. One question I had about models, well, I guess actors too, but they want real people. I mean, what if someone has acne or somebody has, something that's not typically model-esque or whatever? How does that come into play for if they're looking for, I mean, do they sometimes look for real people?
Yes, and I represent real people.
Okay.
I say that to the client. We say that to the clients all the time because I think you when people consider getting into the business, yes, they are real, but they're attractive and they're photogenic. And I shouldn't even say it's a but. It's part of the qualification to being in the business. When people look at advertising, you want to aspire to something. And it is, yes, real people that aren't just skinny or perfect. It's not about perfection. It's about being something that all of us, as we look at that advertising, are inspired and are desirous of that product or that service that the client is trying to sell us. So when they're considering at least models or actors or talent through Wehmann, that is what they want from us. They want people that are aspirational, are attractive, but real looking.
Okay.
I think that's a very important part of the business that you have to consider, and that means that you have to be photogenic.
Okay. Now let's backtrack a little bit because I forgot to ask you, what exactly is the submission process for Wehmann if someone wants to be on your roster? And would they contact directly the agents that you mentioned earlier, or is it an online submission form?
We prefer online because, again, there are questions in the submission form that we would like to get that information from you. The other part of that is that electronically it goes to all of the agents at Wehmann for all of us to consider and look at. If you walk in, we would direct you to go back to our submission form online.
Okay.
If you mail in, we're not then getting the information, all of the information that we would like to receive from someone to consider for Wehmann representation.
Okay. One question that I have that I think a lot of people have questions about. I mean, I know what it is, but what is the difference between you and a casting agent, and how do you work together?
Okay. Well, a casting director is hired by the client to find and to gather all of the potential talent in this market to be considered for their project. If you contact Wehmann, we can send you all of the people that we represent for you to consider. But that doesn't mean that you are in touch with other agencies in this market as well. So a casting director is hired by the client and paid by the client to contact all the agencies and then submit auditions to the client. They sort of, for lack of a better word, vet out all of the people that might not be right for the client to consider for a project. Mm-hmm. Where we are just submitting our talent that we think are right, but we're not putting them down on tape. We're not. We just represent them, and we'll send all of the people that fit the client specs, where the casting director will have a lot more scrutiny and discernment and contact every agency in town and then send one audition tape for that project.
I see. Okay. And if you had to give one big takeaway for models who are looking to get representation from you, what would that be?
I think the most important thing when you are submitting to Wehmann is to have very good images to send us. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean they have to be taken by a professional photographer, but they should be very good images. Selfies where, it's a weird angle doesn't work for us. Mm-hmm. It just should be good images, and it should not be images that are airbrushed or touched up or all of that photoshopped, because we need to see you. And there's nothing worse than you sending those photos to us and then deciding to interview you, and you come in and we go, wait, what? That's not who you are. So they can't be photoshopped or retouched, and they have to be you, but they should be the best images of you. It doesn't mean women you have to have a ton of hair and makeup. It has to be the best version of you. Mm-hmm. Because that I can tell you, impacts that submission process.
Okay. And any last words of advice behind that?
I think you have to realize that this is a business. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people come in when they interview with me and they have desires to have it pay for a college education, or they have it because they want to have fun, or they want to. They have other things other than thinking about this is a business, and it also means that there are no guarantees. It means that when you come in to interview, it doesn't mean you're going to be sent out on auditions. It means that we think you're a good choice for the clients to consider. And the other thing about this market is that it isn't a market that is full-time, where you can earn a living at being in this business. There are people who do earn a living, but they are the exception rather than the rule. And I think you have to realize that it isn't going to pay for a college education. It may help. It isn't going to be something that provides a lifestyle or living for anyone, but it can contribute to your life in a business way. And I think everyone needs to understand that.
I need to backtrack one more time about what, if someone was to submit to you, what makes them stand out, and what would turn you completely off from talent?
A standout would be that they're photogenic, their photos are good, and they maybe assembled a performance resume, even if they haven't been in the business, but they let us know that they've done even band and choir and sports, and they've done volunteerism. They have talents and skills that they think they like to do. Those are great, important things to us. I think so those are things that when people stand out. I think things that sometimes are a takeaway are bad photos. I mean, photos where we really can't see what you look like, or photos where you've got trees in the background, a car, other people, and it's like, well, who are we looking at? Let's just have a photo of you. Okay. I think other things, nudity does not work. We in fact,
do people send that to you?
Yes, lingerie doesn't even work because athleticism is what we're looking for. So if you want to send yourself in workout gear, that's awesome.
Okay.
But anything else, I don't want to see. Making sure that you fill out the form completely. We want to know your height. We want to know your sizes. We want to know your background. We want to know your ethnicity. There are times in the business where clients will want to know that they've got their bases covered. That clients today are so vitally aware of diversity. They want to make sure that they have a diverse talent pool to consider for their advertising. So they want to know where you're from, what your ethnic background is. Be loud and proud about that. That's really important. And we really consider that. That's part of the consideration for representing you.
Okay. So if people want to reach you in the future, can you speak to where your website is? If you have social media sites, or
yeah, we have all of that. We want you to reach out to us. We have a website. It's Wehmann, WEHMANN.com. We have an Instagram. We have Twitter. We have a Pinterest board. We have Facebook.
What is the Instagram or?
But go on our website. It's all
linked.
Yep.
They can be linked
Yep.
to the
It's
website.
all,
Okay.
Yep, for sure. If you get to our website, you get to everything else.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Susan. I really appreciate the time. And again, thank you for representing me and representing my two girls. And much continued success to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.